Welcome everybody to the program. As Mbali said, I'm Janet and I'm very pleased to be here with you this evening, and I'm very excited because I've got a question. This is from Marlon, who's taking advantage of Liberty's giving us the opportunity to answer your questions. So this is fabulous. Right, so Marlon asks, please help with parts of speech, specifically prepositions, nouns, pronouns, and verbs. So let's just start with parts of speech. So when we make up a sentence, we use words that have particular functions. The function is, what are they doing? What is their job? And depending on their function, we give them particular names to describe those functions. And these are what we call the parts of speech. Now, different teachers can use different terms, but most of us go with the sort of old-fashioned nouns, pronouns, adjectives. They go together. And then we do verbs and adverbs. And then we kind of do everything else. So prepositions will come along with the everything else. So Marlon wants me to start with prepositions. So let's do that. So different languages show a relationship in different ways. So let us say, here I've got Marlon, and here I've got, let's say it's a school building. So if I want to show the relationship between the person and the building, English uses prepositions. So they are little words that show you relationships. So what we should really do is we should start by doing a self-test, a self-quiz, in order to revise and review and recall. Now, I was discussing with the grade 11s this morning the fact that nothing sticks. So we were revising adjectives and adverbs this morning. And I said, right, you've got 5 minutes, write down everything you can remember from primary school up till now about adjectives and adverbs. And it was interesting that for some of them, an adjective describes a noun. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing about pronouns or types of adjectives. In another class, a child said, but what about the degrees of comparison of adjectives? So that came back. But in the class this morning, adjectives describe nouns, nothing more. So we talked about the fact that you learn something. We say we've done something. I did this poem. I did Macbeth. I did Tsotsi. I did a matric set work. But my students don't know it. So psychologists look at why. Why do I teach, but it doesn't seem to stick? And this is the whole point about outcomes-based education, which is what we've still got, is that a teacher can say, oh, I've done this, tick, tick, tick. Aren't I wonderful? Done my syllabus, done my curriculum, done Planck's constant. But if my students don't know it, then actually it's not done at all. So outcomes-based education is saying you judge the level of success of what is going on in the classroom by how much your learners can do. So judging by what I saw this morning, what have we been doing? That's me and everybody else who's taught these children since grade 1. What have we been doing? And why hasn't it stuck? So there are very interesting studies on all sorts of students, different ages, a lot of studies done on adults about why things don't stick and how to make them stick. Okay, so what is one of the things coming out of this research is you need to do this. Whether you're doing it on Planck's constant and electricity and Hertz or whatever you're doing it on, you have to self-quiz. You've got to do this. You've got to build it in. So say to yourself, when I go home in the evening, the first thing I need to do is remind myself, what did we do in class today? Write it down. Try to pull it back out of your memory. And then if you found, wow, I can't remember anything else about adjectives except what I already knew, adjectives describe nouns, then you need to revise it. And then you ask yourself again on Wednesday, and then on Friday, and then the following Tuesday, you space. So this revising, reviewing, recalling must be spaced. So don't leave it so long that you can't remember anything at all, in which case you're starting again as if the information were entirely new. But this revising, reviewing, recalling, self-quizzing. And you know what's quite interesting as well is quiz yourself on a topic you know nothing about. Now you might think that is just Looney Tunes. So you're told that we are going to be doing something in chemistry, we're going to be doing something in history. If you try to activate your neural pathways, activate what's inside your skulls, you actually find that you learn more quickly because it's connecting with something you've already activated. So that review can also be a preview. So review or preview. Do it beforehand so that you are then looking at activating your neural pathways, activating your mind. That electricity that isn't in your previous lesson but is actually in your brain. Right, so let's self-quiz. Let's write down as many prepositions as we can. Right, go. How are you doing? I'm starting to dry up. How are you doing? Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm doing a recall quiz. I'm not asking myself how do prepositions work. I'm just saying how many prepositions can I write down in 30 seconds or a minute. So there are some prepositions. Notice that they're mostly one word. But then we've got 2 words, and I've got 3 words over there. So you could say, yes, that's a compound preposition. Yes, it's one preposition made up of 3 words. It's a compound preposition. Right, so let's go back. Did we have? So we could say the person, so let's say this is now me. I am going to school. I am in school. I am at school. I am next to the school. I see a bird flying over the school. There's a lot of water that seems to be flowing under the school. Do you see what the prepositions are doing? They are telling me the relationship between the person, the noun, or the pronoun, and something else. Here, it's a school building. Marlon, I don't know what else you would like to know. what occurs to me is that sometimes you need to know which preposition. Let me see if I can just get this to respond. No, it's not responding at all. And okay, hang on, wait, there we are. Just have to be patient. So you need to know that certain prepositions follow certain nouns or especially verbs. I'm thinking of a verb like cope. A number of my students say cope up. No, in English, we cope with. So you can get asked in an exam if the preposition is correct. Now, how do you know the preposition is correct? You just know it from your knowledge of English and from reading and from exposure to the language, knowing what the language does. So certain prepositions come after certain, especially verbs. What else is there that you could be asked? I think that's about it. Right.